Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you told me, Tyler, you cannot do just one episode of The Farmer Was Replaced, and I think you're absolutely correct, which is why we're back. If you missed the first episode, let me tell you a little about this game. This is a programming idle game that is honestly very not idle in nature. It's really just a programming game, and it's a fun little programming puzzle game where you are programming this drone using a very Python-like language to farm the land that we have here. And then there's a whole tech tree of things that we can unlock that allows us to add more features to the game, but also pieces of code that we can unlock, such as functions and variables and operators, pieces of programming. It's a really cool game if you're looking to learn how to code. I think that it is possible for you to learn how to code from this game, which I think is very, very cool. I code a lot of Python in my day job, so this hopefully looks like it's second nature for me, although a lot of you told me that I should be fired in the comments of the last episode, so hey, what does that matter to me? None. Here's what I did. I took some time in between the last episode and this one to clean up my code and just put us on a little bit of a level playing field for some stuff, because I didn't like how I wrote some of it. And I think that there's benefits in having some little helper functions. Now, you'll note that I did unlock actual functions that allows us to define functions in the game that we can use for reuse and things like that. I'm not going to probably write a lot of functions right now. Solely not because I don't think they're useful. I think they're very useful, but I like treating these windows as functions, right? Because I think that it helps for those of you that are not as familiar with code. Learning functions is that's a huge undertaking. Like it's a big thing to do. So I want to keep this, I'm not going to say series, by the way, because this may only be another video, this one, and that's it. But I want to keep it easy to understand what we're doing in this. So let me show you a couple things that I've built. We have a new function up here, a new script I've written that's called reset drone to top. I like having the ability to move our drone into the top left, right? Humans read left to right, top to bottom, right? So if I want to kind of dictate the movement of this guy, I want him to be able to start in the top left. It gets a little tricky to do that. It's really only 4 lines of code to do that, but let me show you how this works the way that it does. When we're looking at our grid here, bottom left is 0, 0, okay? Top right is our world size, comma, world size, okay? And we can actually get the world size by calling the function get world size. So we can print that. And if we print that, you're going to see that popping up above my guy here is a little 4. So our world size is 4 right now. That makes sense. We're 4 across, we're 4 up. That means that if this position right here is 0, 0, then this position here is 1, 1, this position is 2, 2, and this position is 3, 3. Not 4, 4, which you probably would have expected, but the programmers in general, we like to work as 0 as the first number in a list of numbers. So for us to get to this square right here, it's actually going to be 0, 3 for this. It's 0 because this is the first column. I know that it's difficult because you would think that if you're looking at like a cardinal plane, this can get a little screwy with the X's and Y's, but this position is 0, 3. So for us to get there, to get the drone to there, we basically want to check our X position. And if our X position is not 0, meaning this first column right here, then we want to move him east and then basically check each one of those columns until he is at 0. And then that will break this loop condition and it will move to here, where we're going to check our Y position and we're going to check if that is equal to the world size minus 1. So basically 4 minus 1, which is where we get the 3 right here. And we'll just move him north until he gets to that position. So if I reset the drone to the top, you'll see that he navigates his way right to the top left. And that allows us to work from there very easily. The next function that I made is just a quick reset the farm to tilled soil. We've found that tilled soil is kind of everything can use tilled soil in a sense. And you can plant right over tilled soil and it looks really nice. So if we want to get back on equal footing, we can just run this and he's going to go through. He actually harvested everything here. It's because grass can be put on tilled soil. So this is technically tilled soil right now. So he doesn't actually have any clue what the heck he's doing. But if we had a bunch of other trees and stuff going on, this would reset everything back to tilled soil in here. And then finally we have our big kahuna function here. This is basically, it's a conditional function for a certain good that we have. And in this case, we can set it to any of the 3 goods that we're going for, which is grass / hay, bushes / wood, and then carrots, right? And I can basically say that, hey, if I want grass, if I want hay right now, for which I have 703, maybe I want 800 instead. I can come here and I can set this requirement to 800 using these variables that we unlocked. I can set this to 800 and then we can kick off this code, which very basically is going to loop over the entire grid. We're going to check if we have carrot seeds. In this case, we're just going to make sure we always have at least 5 carrot seeds, right? And if we have less than 5 carrot seeds, if our num item's carrot seed is less than 5, then we're going to trade for some more carrot seeds. Now, carrot seeds require wood and hay to do. So there's a chance that this will fail. I need to look at this trade function a little bit better. So it returns true if it was able to buy the items, false otherwise. We could build a function around this to like not put us in an infinite loop if it can't buy carrot seeds. This is something that I will probably write at some point, but for right now, it's fine. And then we'll just have a basic exit condition, right? So if our num items of our current crop item, in this case items.hay, is less than 800, then we're going to start to harvest, right? We're going to try, if you can harvest. If we're doing stuff with carrots, we got to do things a little differently because we need to make sure the ground is tilled. Otherwise, just plant, right? Just plant the crop and then loop again. Move south, loop again. We've got to move east on the bottom here now. Last episode, I had it in between these two. This basically just allows him, he scans this a lot better going left and right. So let's run it, right? Let's see what's going on. If I want 800 hay, this is going to run to get another 100 hay, and it's just going to very simply scan and go down and collect us hay until it reaches 800, and then he's going to stop. And that basically tells me, hey, it's time to do something again. Now, I understand a lot of you told me, Tyler, just automate all 3 of them, right? Put hay in one column, put wood in another, put carrots in another. We could, right? We definitely could. I think it's more fun for a video to do it like this because otherwise you're just sitting there watching the code run. This way I'm actually writing new stuff as we go. So I'm going to get a grass upgrade here that increases the yield of our grass from 400% to 500%. I think that's pretty good. It's now over 1,000 grass to do the next one. So I'm going to tell you. Put it in and kick it off while we get started talking, okay? It'll be there in no time. But what I want to look at today is this watering, okay? And this is a really interesting mechanic that I unlocked because I was just playing on my own, and then I clicked it by accident, and then I went, oh, because I wanted to look at what it did, but you can't look at it until you click it. So here's what watering is. It's very interesting, and we're going to build something for this today. Plants grow faster when they are watered. Soil and turf have a water level ranging from 0 to 1. So the function getWater will return the water level of the ground that it's over. I'm going to move this over here so you can watch our wheat go crazy if you're, TikTok generation brain and need to see movement while I talk. So we're going to try to mess around with this getWater to return the water level of the ground. That's going to be between 0 and 1. The growth speed of a plant growing on tilled soil grows linearly from 1 to 5, from level 0 water to level 1 water. Let's, come up here, grass upgrade me again. I need 1.5 times now. Go ahead, get get kicking it again. We'll go up to 1600 and we'll kick this off while I keep talking about water. Literally watching paint dry. So soil dries up over time. So if we provide a piece of land a full 1 water, okay, then the crops will grow 5 times as fast, which is crazy, okay? I don't think we need them to go 5 times as fast. But to go like double, triple, now I'm kind of interested, right? So water loses 1% of its current water every now and then. I hate this. Like, this is like the most anti-programmer speak ever. I'll figure out that. And then we have to keep the water level high, but that will consume more water, right? So how do we get water? That's kind of the important part. You can get water from water tanks. So we can purchase empty tanks using wood by using this trade items.emptytank command. So I kind of want to grab this and I want to write a new piece of code for trade items.emptytank. And if we mouse over this item, you'll see that these are empty tanks. They automatically turn into water tanks over time, and they cost 5 wood to make a water tank, an empty tank, I should say. Tanks can hold 0.25 water. Keep in mind that our soil and turf can hold up to 1 water, okay? Tanks fill up automatically. This is actually crazy. We just continue to upgrade this. 2.27 at this point. Go for it. We'll go 23. It's just chewing, man. It's just chewing. Tank can hold 0.25 water. They fill up automatically. The fill rate being 0.5% of the number of empty tanks you have per second. So if you have 100 empty tanks, one of them will fill every 2 seconds. So here's what I want to do, and then we can call use item items.watertank over any ground to empty a tank and water the ground. Here's what I want to do. First, I want to get basically 100 empty tanks. I think that that's a really good place to start. So we're going to do while num items of our items, please work with me, items dot, not caret, items dot empty tank. While this is less than 101, we could do less than or equal to 100, but we'll go less than 101. Trade for empty tanks. And we're going to run this. It's going to stop you. But now we're going to chew through all of our wood creating empty tanks. And they're going to start to generate water because every second now, the more empty tanks we have, the faster these fill, right? Which is a little bit of a weird way to think about it. But that's just going to start filling those with things. I need wood again. So you know what? Let's set this up. This is the nice part about our system is I can just uncomment for bushes and wood, kick this off, and this guy is smart enough now to just kind of go. Now, that's not very satisfying to watch, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reset my drone to the top left, and then I'm going to let him start to go down. Look at how much more satisfying that is. And that's why we have this function. Very useless, but it definitely gets the job done. So now I have my empty tanks. Now we have to figure out some code for using the empty tank. And maybe this is where we want to do some kind of function in here, right? Because this can kind of be our main function. I really don't want to use functions. I don't want to do that to you guys right now. We can just build some water mechanics into this code here. So if we're looking at our requirements here, we know that the water level can range from 0 to 1. At 1, sorry, I'm trying to let you still watch the stupid drone go. At level 1, we're at 5 times speed. I'm gonna tell you right now, I really don't think that helps us a lot. Not unless we start really cranking up the speed of our drone. In which case we need to start hard. We need to plant a lot of carrots, right? That needs to get going immediately. Like, these grow a little slow, but by the time he finishes on this side, he's right back over, right? So we're like just fast enough with the speed that we have to make this work without watering. But in the future, we're gonna want to water, so I want to build this functionality. I think we want to start out with basically checking, is the land half full of water, which basically means we're going to be going from, if it's 0 is 1 speed and 1 is 5 speed, then 0.5 is going to be like 3 speed, right? 3 times speed at 0.5 water. So I want to do a check in here, and I'm going to pause you for right now. Oh my god, my ears. This starts to get a little much after a while. I want to do a check in here, and we're going to do the check like right here after we check our carrot seeds. We're going to do a check on the water, okay? So if get water is less than 0.5, then we are going to water that land, okay? So then we can call use item items.watertank. And I think that this is a decent way for us to handle this. The tanks fill up automatically, totally understand. Each tank only holds 0.25 water. This is going to be, I mean, it's 16 plots of land at 0.25 water. You're looking at needing, I mean, that's like 64, right? You need 64 buckets of water to fully fill up every single one to 1 water. But we're only going to 0.5 water on each one for the 3 times speed. So I think that at 100 barrels we have enough. There is math. There's math we could do here, but actually there's not, because we also the every now and then function here. We don't really know what that's necessarily, how long it takes for these to go down. But I think that this is fine. I mean, if we run this again, we should see him. We can hear the water being used, and we can see the water being used. And we can see these growing, like, way faster, man. You can see them growing way faster. Okay, we're good, man. I think that we're super good. Now, I am gonna say, we're chewing through water, and now we're not. So we used enough water for each tile, and now we're just slowly getting back up. That's very, very good. That's very good. So now, the reality is, our guy's too slow. Okay, so our next thing we need to do is a speed upgrade, which means I need some carrots. Let's just set you, I want you to do carrots for a while, okay? Let's just set you to 2,000. It'll be nice to have them, and we're going to get some carrots going. And let's send you, I mean, let's do it pretty, right? Let's do it pretty. Reset you to top and send you. This is where if we had reset to top, I could call this at the start of this if we had this as a function in here. I also do wonder, can I, let's see here, if I define this as reset drone and then I make all of this, can I store the code in different spots but then call at the top of this reset drone? Will it recognize my function here? It totally does. Okay, that's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. So I can treat these as their own functions, and I can pass things around these windows. That's actually really awesome. That makes that really cool. So now every time we pause, when I rerun it, he's gonna reset to the top now because it's calling this. I love it. I friggin' love it, dude. And now we're getting carrots, and we're at 350. I'll take a speed upgrade. And now you're asking to move a little bit quicker? It's still way too slow. It's way too slow. How many do we need for next? 500 carrots for next? God, it's just a little slow, my guy. It's just a little slow. We'll get there eventually. This is where the idle game component of this comes into play, is we need to get just a little bit more going. Now, we do have trees coming. We also got multi-trade, trading multiple items at once. I kind of want to know what that means. Oh, this is interesting. Unlocks min, max, and absolute value functions. I do kind of wonder why I would need that, if I'm honest. Like, I'm not super seeing a value for min, max at this point. But maybe in the future. I'm very interested in fertilizer. Wow, grow plants instantly. That's kind of crazy. a carrot upgrade would also be really good. Keep in mind that a carrot seed costs 1 wood and 1 hay. So we're chewing through our wood from doing this. And if I increase the yield of my carrots, you know what? We're gonna take a quick step back. Let's grab some more bushes real quick. I love the instant reset, dude. That's so good. Then we can do a speed upgrade here. Now we're getting the wood back, and then we can do a carrot upgrade. This is going pretty fast. And I have a feeling that trees are maybe a way for us to get wood better than bushes, is my bet. I suppose we'll find out momentarily whether that's the case. But I do want to get a carrot increase here first. So carrots get better. And then trees are 50 wood and 200 carrots. Let's try to get trees so we can build something around trees here. So once we get to 50 wood, I know that I can just kind of stop you now. I'm going to let you go for a little bit, just because I know we're going to have to burn through carrot seeds here in a second. So let's get up to, we're not going to let it go to 2,000. 2,000 is that's a little much. But we'll let you go to, we'll let you get to 200 easily. And then we'll get back to grabbing some carrots, because trees, yeah, 200 carrots. So when this hits 200 wood, I'm going to switch you to carrots. We should now be getting, like, 2 carrots per bush, if not more at this point, I guess. How many carrots we get per? We're getting 6 carrots per. Holy crap. Okay, that's very good. That's very good. So that's going to end shortly. There's my 200. You're done. Let's unlock trees. So trees are a better way to get wood than bushes. They give 5 wood each. Like bushes, they can be planted on grass or soil. Trees like to have space. Planting them right next to each other will slow their growth. The growing time is doubled for each tree that is on a tile directly to the north, east, west, or south of it. So if you plant a tree on every tile, they will take 16 times longer to grow. Directly to the north, east, west, or south. So here, I think you want to do them in a checkerboard pattern. It's not, I think. I know I do. I definitely know I do. So let's figure out how to build this in a checkerboard pattern. This is going to be an interesting bit of code to do. I think we want to make our own new function here for trees. So this is going to be plant trees, just because it's a little different, right? It's a little different. We're not going to want to plant anything else in a checkerboard pattern. And we can always call plant trees inside of here if I want to. This makes it cool now. So we can define this as plant trees, right? Potentially even like a number of trees that we want to put in here, but for right now, it's fine. So if our drone is in... Okay, just shut up for right now. Do a pass, that's fine. If we... I really want to just reset you. Why are you not? Oh, because if I run you on your own, I'll run you outside of here. Because right now it's not running anything. You're very annoying. Can I do like a if __name__ equals main? Does this work in does this work in this? No. Okay, fair enough. Those that are programmers, that will make more sense to you. Can I just... I'm just going to add like a return in this so that we can call reset drone. I mean, I suppose... actually, he's reset right now. He reset probably a long time ago and I didn't notice. If I call it here... Do you run that? You do run that. Okay, just shut up. Shut up, Tyler. You're fine. You're completely fine. So if we want to plant every other, right? What we first want to do, I'm going to tell you, is I want to like reset the entire land to tilled to start. So that's easy. We do that. Then we want to go every other. So this is going to be, basically we're going to loop the grid. Okay. We're going to loop the grid. Something like this. And then this is going to start, well, for every other position. So if to start out, x is going to be 0. Then x is going to be 1. Then x is going to be 2. So we want for each row, well, it's going to do each column. Well, it's also going to do whatever we want. X and Y mean nothing here. I'm talking to myself, which is really every video I do if you think about it, but it seems a lot worse when I'm coding. We basically want to perform a skip where on X's, we're going to plant on even numbers, but that's not true. We want on odd numbered Y's. So if Y is 3, meaning an odd, we want to plant on evens, 0 and 2. If Y is even, we want to plant on odd X's. Okay? So let's do it like this. So to start out, Y will be 0. Y will be 0. I'm going to tell you, it's making a lot more sense to do this. Makes a lot more sense to do this from bottom left. We could do world size in reverse, meaning we do a negative world size. Does that make sense? If I just print Y here, I think that this is going to print 4, 3, 2, 1 over and over. I need to call this function inside of here now. So plant trees. You don't like negative world size. Okay, that's fair. That's pretty fair. So how do I want to do this? You're going to loop. So you're going to start out. We're in Y. So we're going to, let's just plant. Okay, let's plant. We're going to plant in entity.tree. Then you're going to move, and we want to move south to start, okay? But you're only going to plant a tree if Y is even. And how do you dictate if Y is even? We're going to do if Y mod 0 equals 0. This is going to be, for those of you that don't know a lot of programming, this is going to make no sense to you. This is basically, it looks like a division sign if you're 7. And it kind of is when you're 7. This is a function called modulo that is basically the remainder of something. So you can really quickly figure out an even and odd number by dictating whether or not something modulo 2 is equal to 0, meaning it doesn't have a remainder when you divide it by 2. If that didn't make any sense, I apologize. But this is gonna work. So if Y mod 2 is equal to 0, this is gonna start at 0. So 0 mod 0 is 0. 0 mod 2 is 0. So this is gonna plant a tree right here. Then it's going to loop, and it's not going to plant one here because 1 mod 2 is not 0, it's 1. Then it's going to go to 2 mod 2, which is 0. So it will plant here, and then it'll go to here. No, that's not true because you're going south. This still works fine because you're going to get down to there, and then, yeah, you're going to move south to there. But then you're going to be out of the Y's. So at that point, you're going to move east. And then we want to do this reversed. So if X mod 2 is equal to 0, and then if Y mod 2 is equal to 0, we're going to plant a tree. If X mod 2 is equal to 1, and Y mod 2 is equal to 1. Let's just see what happens, okay? Let's just see what happens. In my head, this makes some sense, but I mean, this is much trickier code, I'm going to tell you. So he's just going to go through and he ain't got no clue what's going on. We definitely hit plant tree in here. So why did you not plant the tree? Is there something I'm missing here? Grow on soil or turf. Plant cost is nothing. They take longer if other trees grow next to them. That makes sense. We know that. You should have planted. Maybe we need to harvest first. So we'll do let's do in our reset farm to tilled. If can harvest, you harvest. Okay. And that way you just kind of wipe the grid out. And now if you try to plant the trees. Okay. You know what? That's a start. That's a start. That's not horrible, okay? That's really not horrible. It's not as good as it can be, but it's not horrible. So what did we do wrong here? Let's walk through it. Then we can harvest all of these and we can get all the wood from it. But obviously we're not going to do that yet. This is also now like a really good harvest function, but we'll get there, okay? So plant trees, we want to plant every other. If x mod 2 is 0 and if y mod 2 is 0, you're going to plant there, you're going to plant there. But then it's because of this. So when x changes, we only, I think this we still want to be 0. No. That is not correct. You do not want that to be 0. I need like a sheet of paper to map this crap out. This is 0. We would be at 0, 0. This would be 0 for x, 1 for y. So if it's 0 and 1, you should never have planted. Right? You should not have planted? Why did you plant? Let's walk through this line by line, okay? So we're going to get in here. So if x mod 2 equals 0, which it does, because 0 mod 0 is 0, and if y mod 0, then you will plant, okay? And then you will move south. Now you're going to go back. Y should be 1 at this point. So if x mod 2 is equal to 0, oh, I understand the issue. I understand the issue entirely. It's because our move south is underneath our statement here. We need to move that out, okay? We need to move that out. So you're going to move to here. You're going to move to here. And by that I mean you're going to move to here, and you're going to move to here. That way we always move south no matter what. This is going to get messed up now. Yeah, this is very messed up. Why did you do that, though? Why did you do that? These are obviously going to grow, like, ridiculously slow now. And you're not going to be able to harvest them yet because they're taking forever to harvest, which makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. You can harvest some of these, and then you're going to grow very fast now because you can be harvested. Okay, so when we plant, if they're not both 0... Did I have this right before? I think it's this, actually. There we go. I had it right before, but I had my move south in the wrong spot. Now we have trees that are going to grow basically perfectly fast. And then we can set up where if we made this is now just, we should really define this as harvest grid, right? And then we can call this, I mean, we'll definitely call it down here, harvest grid. But we can now call this harvest grid inside of this function. So we can say, down here, we'll basically add another line. I mean, we could also throw this into a new function even. and I think that that's probably even smarter, is we can say while some requirement, right? We'll set up our requirements again. Requirements equals, and we'll go 500 wood, okay? While requirements is not, while our num items entities dot, nope, items, I get items and entities screw up. Items dot wood is less than our requirements. We are going to plant trees, and we are going to harvest grid. And that way it's as simple as planting all the trees, harvesting all the trees, and then planting all the trees. And then he's going to keep scanning, and he's just going to keep on trying to harvest them as he goes. Once they're ready to harvest, he'll harvest. And it's not horrible, okay? I mean, it's really not that bad. We can speed it up with water, though. so let's do that as well. So inside of here, well, we probably want it inside of here, actually. On each of the tiles, we're just going to do a check for water. And what we really should do is we should move that into its own function. So this is now going to be called, this is water me, and it's just going to be as simple as this, right? If water is less than 5, we'll just call it water me, right? If water is less than 5, use items water, right? And then we can call in here water me. And we can even start to do some funky things, like we could pass in some percentage, right? So if we wanted to keep these at 75% watered, I could do some percent in here, and then if that is less than the percent, and then we can toss in 0.75 in here if we wanted to keep this very watered, right? I think that that's a unique idea. And then we can call that down here as well, so we would bring in water me down here. Now, I think that 0.5 worked really well for these ones because they grew pretty fast to begin with. So we can keep percent as an idea here, and then we can just define a water percentage in here. So this is our watering level percentage, and we'll just call that, we should really call it water percent. And for this area, we'll do 0.5 because these crops are a little less, they need a little less water, but over here, it's, frankly, it's just way more valuable to have more water. So we've added a lot of functions. This one is our exit condition trees. This is exit, I mean, I should really just call this, I don't know why I'm calling it exit condition. This is our plant crops, hay, bush, I can't name it that much, apparently. Hay, bush, carrot. This is plant crops, tree. And, yeah, we'll kind of just go from there, to be honest with you. So now we can run this. It's going to water all of our tiles and keep them at 0.75. And we should see now, look at how fast they grow. They're basically ready to be harvested because we're getting that 5 times speed on it. Now, the only issue is we're burning through water like crazy, and this is why 0.75 is pretty terrible. But what could be very interesting, actually, no, we're not burning through water, no. And now I'm at 500 wood. Up this to 5,000 for me. kind of wacky, but now they're at 5 times speed, and this is, it's keeping up, okay? It's definitely keeping up. It's watering a little bit more now, but they're hella grown by the time we get there. What we need to do is, during the harvest, like this unfortunately this is not the most efficient that we can do this, because when it harvests, it should immediately replant, right? So the reset farm to tilled I should remove, and I should just build it into, I don't think it's smart to have a harvest function. It's nice to have the reset, but I think that we can do better stuff. But I like this. I mean, it's a good functionality. We've added a lot here, and I think that it's a pretty cool new addition to do this little checkerboard of trees. And get some stuff going, and some modulo action is always fun, even if it broke my brain a tiny bit. So that's gonna do it for this episode of The Farmer Was Replaced. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. I'm probably not gonna do more unless you, like, I don't know, give me 1,000 likes on the video. You give me 1,000 likes, I'll do more. But coding videos are not gonna perform well. So it's fun for me, I like it a lot, but we'll see. Who knows? Grab your alt accounts and start liking, I guess. For now, though, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.